this is Shokora Zouheikyoku aka chocomint, and welcome back to our playthrough of Pre-Odyssey, Odysseus, Penelope and her ducks. In the last playthrough, we have had a problem with our dad, Penelope's dad, since he preventing and stopping Odysseus from getting married with Penelope even though they're in love. And so, this time, Penelope will decide on whether she will continue to trust Odysseus to uphold his promise of getting married and trusting him. So, let's go. Okay, let's trust him. I mean, the first step in a relationship is should be trust, right? Just make the word go around and prevent misunderstandings, which is the taboo of every relationship, and it makes people feel unhappy and a lot of chaos happens. Then I will. Why do you call me out here? King of Ithaca, if you're planning to use my knees, you better think twice. I tell you now, it would not bode well. You would just generate the ire of my brother. Oh, Tyndareus, what kind of greeting is that? That got your tongue? You suddenly went quiet here. I really do despise talking with you. As do I. Though your concern is wholly unnecessary. Because your brother do seem to hate me already. But I must admit, I dislike him even more. There was one thing you got absolutely wrong though. I am not using Penelope, but whether you believe me or not is up to you. Darius lifted his brow, as if expressing doubt in Odysseus' words. I know what you're thinking. That I'm trying to get close to Penelope to get to Helen, yes? Or perhaps that Penelope is the perfect consolation prize next to the unattainable Helen. Is that not what you are truly after? You not bringing any gift, not showing any interest, not making a move. They're all uncharacteristic for the cunning trickster of Ithaca. Believe what you will, but aside from her face, I find nothing of interest in Helen. She simply isn't my type. And I assure you, I have no interest in the Spartan throne. Oi, you guys talking about my daughter like that. The more reason for you to believe this supposed liar, yes? If I just wanted to get on your good side, I'll be flattering you to no end. You? Well, I wouldn't want you near Helen anyway. The feelings, Mojo. Your past few words would have been enough to launch 1,000 ships. But you wouldn't, right? See, of course I'm right. I'm always right. I must admit, your hubris is unbelievable. Why, thank you. That wasn't a compliment. I'll take it as one anyway. The other king clicked his tongue. It wasn't difficult to notice that he was annoyed. Or rather, he wasn't even trying to hide that he was annoyed. He wanted Odysseus to know that he was. Enough idle chatter. I call you out here to make a deal. I am not making any deals with a trickster like you. Even if it's beneficial for the both of us. I can provide you the solution for your daughter's suitors and strengthen your position as king. I assure you this is worth your while. So, fancy to listen to me first before you make any rash decisions? Tyndareus took a sharp breath. For a moment, he stood in silence, as if considering the other's offer. Very well. Listen. I will only listen. Good enough for me. I know of your plight. You are free to choose a suitor for Helen, yes? Because picking one could easily offend the others. The man let out a grunt. It was an unconscious confirmation. Odysseus simply continued, ignoring the reaction. I could offer you a solution for that. In exchange, I only ask that you take my side and give me aid to help me win over Penelope. The old man blinked. Hold on, you're actually serious about my niece? That dull girl smells of ducks. Who are you calling dull? Tyndareus flinched. Even if you are her uncle, I wouldn't be so keen on letting that slide. I apologize. His voice wavered. A drop of sweat trickled down his forehead. Hold on. Why am I the one apologizing? He whispered under his breath. Why then? Why are you so pressed on pursuing her? Is it not obvious? I'm falling in love with her. You're really serious? What? Am I not allowed to fall in love? Well, no, I mean... Why her? That's none of your business, oh man. For a moment there, Odysseus noticeably faltered and have a big blush on his face, which looks really nice. However, your brother doesn't seem like he'll let his favorite daughter go. He shrugged. I wish to take her with me to Ithaca. If I do, that means one less contender for the throne, yes. After all, for them, it was more common for the man to move in with their wife, and the husband would, in turn, inherit the throne. As of now, Tyndareus and Icarius share the throne as brothers. But with Odysseus' offer, taking away Penelope meant he's reducing Icarius' potential heirs, consolidating more power for Tyndareus. So I take your niece, while you get to solve your dire suitor woes, and as a bonus, your family's position on the throne is strengthened. Our intents are clear. Everyone wins now. Except for your brother, but I don't like him anyway. Tyndareus bit his lips. Indeed, that man offered him nothing but benefits. Unless he had an ulterior motive to take in Penelope's hand, there really weren't any downside to this. The worst that could come out of it was earning Icarius' ire for taking the side of a man he disliked for his daughter. But that was a small price to pay compared to everything Odysseus was offering. Then, let's hear it. How do you intend to pick a suitor for my daughter without causing fighting? I'll take that as a deal then. I'd like to hear a yes. Tyndareus fell silent, as if weighing his options. After a short moment of silence, he finally spoke. Yes, very well. You have yourself a deal. Good choice. The solution is simple. Announce that Helen will be making her decision. Before she does, make them carry out an oath that they must respect her decision and that all the other suitors are to protect the one she chooses. If one makes a move or objects after the decision has been made, they will end up making an enemy of everyone. I doubt anyone is stupid enough to risk it. And even if anyone is actually that foolish, Then you will have all those who made up behind your back. I'll run you through the final details, but this should solve everything, no? Darius nodded along. In short, they will have to pledge an oath if they wish to be one of the candidates for Helen. And when one is chosen among the candidates, everyone who made the pledge would have become allies with the chosen one for her. It was a method that forces her suitors to become allies with each other. On surface, the oath looked good in intent. There would be no reason for them not to take it. Yet, breaking the pledge later on would not only paint them in bad light, but also earn them enemies. Yes, the older king moaned. Goodness, what a simple yet effective plan. Why hadn't I thought of that? That's a good question. He spoke to himself in awe. Well then, let me gather some materials to take down your instructions. I'll be right back. The man suddenly sounded much more energetic than how he was just a moment ago, as if a huge burden had been lifted off his shoulders. Of course, I'll be waiting here. And he watched the man walk off. It's so easy. Whatever happened to not wanting to make a deal with a trickster? I hope Hercules have delivered my message. Everything is going according to plan. For the next few days, Penelope didn't see Odysseus. They did keep exchanging messages through her decks. Apparently, King Tyndareus had made a move, so the whole palace became abuzz with activity. It was something about conducting a ritual for an oath, which involved all of her suitors. Unfortunately, this also involved Odysseus' mandatory attendance, even though he had thrown the tower with Helen. He was still masquerading as her suitor so that he could continue leeching out staying at their place as a guest. Not long after that, Helen had finally chosen a husband. And just as Odysseus had guessed, it was some guy named Menelaus. With Helen now finally engaged, it should have been time for everyone to return home, right? But that was not the case. King Tyndareus invited everyone to stay for a little while longer, for an event he and a certain collaborator had planned. So yeah, that's pretty much the case. Let me get this straight. You've got a deal with Uncle to help with Helen's engagement so that he'll vouch to father for you? Pretty much. And you solved the problem he's had for months in just a few days. Uh-huh. I'm sorry, this is... I can do anything if I put my mind to it. Come on, praise me. See? The Kimis gets it. The little one said you'll have a terrible ego. But I probably should keep quiet on that. Still, your father sure is stubborn. I got Tyndareus to talk to him about handing you over, but he wouldn't settle for it without me beating him in a foot race. I'm sorry about that. Don't be. I'm more frustrated over not being able to take you home sooner. I just can't wait to have you see Ithaca already. Then we can stroll along the seaside, tour at the market, and I'll treat you to some of our special delicacies. Don't you have work to do? Why do you have to remind me of that? I'll be your wife, so... Isn't it my responsibility to keep you in line? Wife. Right. Wife. This still feels like a dream. Then if this were really just a dream... It's a dream I wouldn't want to wake up from. The two spoke in unison. They stared at each other and then laughed. Even Aphrodite would have once done that, huh? You started it. No, you. It was you. Damn humans and this lovey-dovey. The duck then waddled off somewhere, not able to bear this lovey-doveyness. It wasn't difficult to translate that one. I'll give you two some space. Anyway, the race should be in 3 days. Your uncle and I have talked it over and he will be sponsoring the event. So your father can't make excuses to get away from it, lest he make a fool of his brother. I guess uncle is one of the only people father couldn't easily oppose. Cinderia said he'll save you and the ducks the best seats in the stadium, so I'll better hear you cheer me on. I can watch? Why do you sound surprised? Father never lets me watch his races. Oh, so it's your first time then? It'll be a feast for your eyes. You'll enjoy it. I'm looking forward to that event then. Odysseus and Penelope continued to meet for the next 3 days. Though their meetings had been brief, since the young man was training for the race. Icarius, Penelope's father, made himself scarce. From the rumors she had heard, it seemed that he was upset over his brother taking Odysseus' side. 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. So, this is the venue of the race? The guard said Odysseus should be that way. Come on, let's go say hi. She smiled, trailed by no less than 10 ducks from behind. Odysseus, where are you? Cover your eyes, censor, or stare respectfully. Don't you dare censor. Okay, I'm not going to censor. Let's go. That's a nice view. Yeah. I'm sorry. Are you changing right now? Oh, you're here. Wait, you didn't know? Oh, that's a cute face. And cute body. I mean, nice body, great body. Didn't know what? What races are that naked? What? Why? I mean, the sight is great, but still. Even your old man will be out there with his chest bare and brown. I guess I need to get used to it. What? I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, you'll get used to it after marriage a lot. Yeah, you better. You're coming home with me, remember? You have a point. That said, she didn't really think Odysseus would be well done underneath his clothes. Yeah, I'm tripping over my words here because I got too distracted. It makes sense though, since kings typically have to learn how to use weapons. Plus, they go through rigorous training. When I said you better get used to it, I didn't mean admire me. And you're not happy about it? I can't? Of course you can. Dang, this flirting is on another level. Whew. She's really shy, but she's really earnest in what she wants. Her eyes darted toward a noticeable mark on his leg. Looking closer, it seemed to be a huge wound. What are you looking at? Odysseus traced her line of sight. Ah, that. It's a wound I got from a boar hunt. Pretty nasty, ain't it? Penelope could only shake her hand. It looked like it would have been painful. I was 15 back then, just a little before I inherited the throne. Oh, so are you good at hunting? Psst, of course I'm good at hunting. What about bows? Swords? I'll say I'm pretty handy with a bow. I even have one that only I could string. Between you and me, it has a little secret to it, so brute force won't cut it. You're quite talkative today though, aren't you? Well, I guess I'm just nervous. What if you lose? I won't. How can you be so sure? Because I make things happen. I told you, didn't I? I can do anything if I put my mind to it. I wish I could be more like you. When you say something, you really make it sound believable. It's no wonder I fell in love with you. You can be really straightforward sometimes, you know. But let me tell you, you don't have to be like me. I like you for being you. So, just keep being yourself. Even if you strive to grow, you're free to find your own path. You don't have to copy me. You can be strong in your own way. You are strong in your own way. Thanks. Well, and here I thought I couldn't love you even more. You're relentless today. I do hope you'll keep finding more reasons to keep loving me further. We'll see. That's so sweet, guys. Whatever happened to that adorable dance little lady I once knew? Penelope turned around, ready to leave. She fell in love. Love changed people, huh? Penelope sat by the special area that her uncle had provided. It was right down the stadium, practically front row seats to the raids. Even her desks were given a special seating. Nice. Odysseus mentioned before that he got her uncle to procure the best duck bedding they could find in Greece. While happy that Odysseus cared for them so much, Penelope honestly thought that it was overboard. Still, seeing how the ducks were enjoying their midship seats, it was probably worth it. That said, there were a lot more people than she expected. Her uncle likely invited even the common folk to attend. Penelope wasn't accustomed with being around huge crowds, so she was actually quite anxious. The only saving grace being that she had a special seating away from them. They even had a makeshift sunshoe and servants fanning them. Isn't this a little too much, Uncle? Her seat was right next to King Darius. Nonsense, my niece only deserves the best. He nodded proudly to himself. I don't get many opportunities to speak with Uncle, but it's good to know that he's actually nice. Still, your father is a little too much, don't you think? I've heard you've been spending time with a young lad, Odysseus, yes? Oh, yes. I'm glad my home served as the place for your love story. Uncle sure is in a good mood, but this is kind of embarrassing. Anyway, I wish Icarus just stops being so stubborn. His dear daughter is obviously smitten. You should just let her be. It's rare for you today to marry for love, you know. Tusk. He sure is passionate about this. Just then, a man finally walked up the center of the stadium. And now we're about to begin the competition for Lady Penelope's hand in marriage. The host at the center broadcasted with a booming voice, and then pointed at her. People from the audience brought their eyes toward her direction. Penelope just couldn't help but sink in her seat. She didn't like being the center of attention. It made her somewhat nauseous. Today we have 10 contenders vying for Prince Icarius' daughter. Who will come out victor?
10?
Oh, did Odysseus not mention? When I announced the event, a few others volunteered to take part. You're one popular lass. What the heck? That's so much. I mean, it's good that she's popular, but isn't that more problem for Odysseus in a sense?
Uncle, you were just saying how you supported me and Odysseus. What are you bringing all the people?
Suddenly, she felt even more nervous. How did it come to this? As per usual, the losers of the match shan't be allowed to step foot in Sparta forever.
Huh?
Oh yes. He clicked his tongue. That's your father's handiwork there.
Why didn't Odysseus tell me this? Knowing him, it's likely because he believes that he will win anyway, without a doubt.
And now, without further ado, here are all the runners for today.
And of course, they were all almost naked.
I'm not sure if I should say nice or not.
Her father wasn't among them though. He will probably have a special entrance later. She felt her blood rush into her head.
Yeah, I feel you there, girl. I'm sure you don't have a lot of chance to see half-naked guy running around. Especially when it comes to your lover too.
For a girl who had been sheltered for all her life, seeing these many men almost buck naked was overstimulating. Especially with them this up close. Stay strong, Penelope. She looked around and saw a number of women on both the audience seats, screeching and jeering at the runners. Unlike her, they seemed to be enjoying this.
Oh my.
Should I copy them? Penelope took in a sharp breath. But all that came out was a wheeze. Just as she was feeling down about not being able to cheer on Odysseus, his words from just a little while earlier came back to her. You are strong in your own way. No, I can do this. Okay, one more time. Once more, she breathed in. You can do it! The girl shouted at the top of her lungs. Her scream surprised her uncle, as well as the runners. Odysseus looked to her direction and smiled. Nice. I did it! Not long after, the runners positioned themselves at the starting line. Of course, Icarius was there as well. For a man of his age, he was ridiculously buff. They're about to begin. 3, 2, 1, and they're off. Penelope was at the edge of her seat. Immediately, her eyes searched for Odysseus. He was doing pretty average, smack dab in the middle of the running. At this rate, Odysseus would lose. What happened to all his confidence? No, this is just the beginning. I believe he can turn this around. She pouted as she watched them compete another lap. The noise of the stadium didn't die down one bit. In fact, for every lap, the people would cheer louder and stronger. Interestingly enough, some of the runners who were ahead had now lagged behind, but Odysseus maintained a steady pace. Still, there was nothing to praise about. Her father was still far ahead, and he was also keeping his pace. I never imagined father being this formidable. Penelope held her breath, hoping for Odysseus to turn the tides. Just then, one of the runners caught up to the attacking king and tried to swipe Odysseus with his arm. What? Uncle, did you see that? The runner tried to hit Odysseus.
Well, you can't really avoid accidents in these events.
Accidents? I'm pretty sure it was intentional.
What can I do? We don't have any rule against that. You know what? We should probably enforce more rules next time.
Why is Uncle keeping calm? Odysseus can get hurt. Just as she was thinking that, another runner comes to him from behind. Odysseus, watch out! Just as she screamed, the young man managed to dodge by speeding up and making a forward dash. The one behind him slipped across the floor when he missed his tackle. Penelope sighed in relief and wiped her forehead. Still, this is strange. Why are they all going after him when he's not even in the lead? Penelope's eyes hovered over to her father. Could it be? Uncle Tyndareus, I don't want to speak ill of father, but is there a possibility that he's the one who asked the other contestants to target Odysseus?
Her uncle raised a brow. Nonsense, child. Icarus doesn't need to do something like that. He is a champion runner and he has pride in his skills. Besides, none of his other competitions had this kind of this happen.
Then it isn't father? Maybe people would grudge against Odysseus? She groaned, both worried and frustrated about the situation. No, hold on. Father does have a reason to not let Odysseus, out of anyone else, win. I'm betting every other contestant are only after the throne. But Odysseus is the only one who wants to take me back to his homeland. She pursed her lips. If that really was the case, then Odysseus will continue to be targeted. Excuse me, uncle. Her uncle smiled and gestured that she's allowed to go. I don't understand how uncle can remain calm despite this. With that, she scurried over to her desk. Meanwhile, at their stadium track, there have been more annoying pests than I expected. I should have gotten a couple of people to assist me with this. I mean, I expected this, but still. He sighed. Oh well, no use complaining. They'll be the first to start dropping like flies. Ooh, the street doggen and his face. Little one? The ducks were happily bouncing on their VIP nest when she approached. Please help Odysseus. Some runners are trying to attack him, and I'm worried he might get badly hurt. What's that? Permission to act on your card? Sure. Having given her consent, the bird flew up. Somewhere. Hey, what are you? Hey, where are you? At that moment, Penelope had no idea what she just unleashed. Oh, chaos. Back at the stadium track. You're there, future father-in-law. His face though. Odysseus caught up next to Icarus, though the older man was still a whole lap around ahead of him. If you have time to chat, you'll do you better to save it for actually trying to win. I don't have to try. I will win. The old king let out a snort. Big words for someone who's a lap behind. You mean only a lap behind? Has anyone ever told you that you're quite maddening? Oh, that's a new one. No one had ever expected what happened next. It was said, on that day, the sky grew dark. And the air was filled with endless cracks and wing swaps. Oh my god! Incredible! Ducks. What the duck? On the other hand, Icarus was left speechless. In a moment, he paused in awe of the dark-filled sky. Everyone probably stopped what they were doing back then, with the exception of Odysseus who kept running. The humans had gone quiet, pointing and watching the wave of falls in the sky. Achilles, what the duck is going on? I have no idea what you're saying. However, the ducks only kept circling the stadium, without really doing anything but quack. It was nothing but ominous. Is this an omen? No, it's just a duck. The king muttered to himself as he watched the darkened sky. Should we suspend their competition? I think you guys overdid it. You didn't call all of the ducks of Greece here, did you? Yes. Wait, no? What do you mean not yet? Send them back. Please. And the duck flew up. Not long after, the darkened sky began to clear and the sea of ducks subsided. Thank goodness. Oh, they're gone. What was that about? Maybe those birds dropped by just to watch. Her uncle joked. His mood had clearly brightened up now that the old man was gone. People whispered. Some say it must have been the gods. Others say it was a sign. This event would be a talk of the land for years to come. But it would soon be forgotten, lost in time. I don't think the other runners would try anything against Odysseus anymore. She smiled at him and waved. You can do it. Odysseus waved back. A few continued running, but the other contestants seemed to have been in too much shock that they bowed out of the race. Those who attacked him before, in particular, had withdrawn. If Odysseus hadn't continued doing his laps, no one else probably would have resumed doing theirs. Unfortunately, Icarus was one of those who had resumed. Thus, the race was back on. Back to Odysseus. What a duck couple lives if I ever seen one. You can do it. He turned to the voice and waved. Either way, that gave me some unexpected leverage. I've gotten past Icarus somehow. He paused on his thoughts for a moment to mull. That was Penelope's doing, wasn't it? Man, she's so fun. Well then, time to get through this final stretch. The race was reaching its finale. Because of the short ducky intermission, Odysseus somehow had gotten in the lead. Penelope talked about it with her uncle. What if a fighter uses the ducks as his excuse to make the race results invalid? Her uncle reassured you that he wouldn't allow that since Odysseus kept running. So there technically wasn't any excuse to stop. That said, despite the leverage he had gotten, Icarus was still indeed formidable. He had managed to catch up with Odysseus and was toe-to-toe with the young man. They are currently taking a water break. Odysseus only stopped by the water station for a bit, but he still found time to wave at her once again. Mm, this is the final stretch. You can do it. She silently cheered him on. Back at the stadium track. Are you sure your bones aren't giving out yet?
Your tactics won't work on me.
Final laugh. The two men ran side by side, with each one continuously overtaking the other. Odysseus was young, and he had saved up most of his stamina. So, what he lacked in speed, he made up with his endurance. However, Icarus was nothing to sneeze at. Power, speed, endurance. He was at the top of it all. Had he not been distracted by the dark blue sky, he would have been in the lead right now. Also, Odysseus would refute. Hey, see that? Your daughter is cheering for me. He pointed out as they passed by her. Couldn't you just let her go already? You know that this is what she wants. Why would you deny her a bit?
You don't know anything, young man. Nor does she. Penelope's a sheltered, naive child. She doesn't know what you're dragging her into.
Oh, it seems to me like you're just making excuses. I told you, didn't I? I don't mind waiting. I don't mind if you tell her. Tell her what I'm dragging her to then. I'll gladly arrange a visit tour for Ithaca. Just give her the date. Or you can even visit without notice. I bet she'll have fun.
I refuse.
Does it? Well then, if you're not going to budge, I'll just win this myself. Oh, I do hope you know that she isn't an object for you to own. The older king winced and just fell silent. Before he can say any more, Odysseus kicked up his speed and ran past Icarus. Icarus tried to catch up, but his speed had somewhat fallen. Perhaps the fatigue was catching up to him. Or perhaps. Either way, the finish line was within sight. 1 week after the race.
Odysseus, are you sure you don't want to stay here and become a new king of Sparta?
The Ithacan king just shrugged. Nah, too much work.
Penelope dear, are you sure this is the man you want?
Penelope just hid behind Odysseus and nodded.
Penelope, you don't know what it's like there in Ithaca.
Isn't that why I kept offering you to give Ithaca a chance first? Now I won the race far and square. You lost your chance. He made a shooing gesture to the old king. Icarus just grumbled under his breath.
Penelope, do you really want to live with him? I'm not even opposing you to take him as your husband anymore. Just stay here, please.
The girl just pulled her veil over her face and held into Odysseus' clothing. And then she retreated behind Odysseus once again.
Penelope.
Okay, that's enough. I think she's made her choice. Don't worry, it's not like I'm imprisoning her in Ithaca or something. She can visit whenever, you know. With that, Icarus sighed. He gave Penelope one last glance before finally turning away. Man, your dad's really attached to her. I mean, it's kind of his fault. If he hadn't been challenging other suitors to a race, then you'll likely be betrothed to someone who actually wants the throne. But it wouldn't have been you. Yeah. He unintentionally saved the seats for me, huh? But how about you? Are you sure? Penelope didn't think twice about nodding. I'm actually looking forward to seeing Ithaca. Oh, and I'm looking forward to showing you around. Your dogs will also love it there. We have tons of farms and plenty of places for them to roam. While they at it, they can take care of the best. Oh, but please don't bring about the Kabulovs in Ithaca. Well, as long as you behave. No, not you too. Getting in trouble is my natural instinct. Okay, fine. I'll try, but no promises. Hey, if something is bothering you, just tell me. I'll be your husband soon, but I will still your friends first. Ah. Penelope looked up at him and smiled. It's nothing. Maybe I'm just feeling a little sad about finally leaving. But honestly, I wouldn't say that I have any attachments here, other than my ducks. And they're coming along, so... She drawled up. Well, I can't read minds, but if you'd like to talk, know that I'm here. She took his hand into hers and placed it over her cheek. I'm happy I met you. You're not allowed to use an underhanded strike like that. Well, you're free to retaliate. You won't regret it? What if I'm asking for it? Gus, why do you have to be so adorable? Oh. Oh my god, the kiss. What a lovely sight. It's a radical romance and I'm loving it. First we have the hand holding, the bridal carry, the hug, and the kiss now. Along with her hand holding too, so it's a bonus. Slowly, Odysseus leaned toward her. He gently grabbed her by the hand and then pulled her toward him. Penelope followed his lead without resistance, and they shared a kiss. The gentleness of his hands, the scent of his presence, the touch of his lips. Penelope loved them all. I love you, Penelope. But where is that coming from? From my heart. Me, Aphrodite, met you. Hey, I'm kidding. But seriously, I love you a lot. Loads and loads. I can't wait to bring you home. I can't wait to be home. A chance encounter that began with a quack. Thus marks the start of their long odyssey. There may be a cruel fate in store for them. An ordeal that will last for decades. But as long as they continue to fight, as long as they continue to remain strong, as long as they continue to love one another, they will definitely find each other once again. They have a child. They have a child. Is that a boy or girl? Oh. Oh, the horse up. The horse? Isn't that? Oh, he's back. Nice. Oh, a happy ending. That's great. The fall of Troya. Yeah. Yeah, I see that horse and I kind of knew what it was about. Even though I don't know exactly the whole story. But that's a happy ending. I love it. The end. Yes, extra content unlocked. And that will be for another time. So that should be the end of the playthrough for Pre-Odyssey, Odysseus, Penelope, and her death. We have managed to get the two of them together with a happy marriage. They even had a child, a little boy, I believe. I'm not sure the gender of that child very well, but it looks like a boy since, their hairstyle at that time is really long, so it could be something else. This is a lovely story, a retro friends to lovers trope type, and it is very gradual, it's very calm and cute. I do love the banter of it all. And we still have a bit of extra content that we will cover the next time with the overview and review of the game, I believe. Not sure if the extra is a lot. I'm not sure if I will cover the other engines, but I will check out the extra content next on the next video. So overall, it was a really nice ride. There's the little peak of the story, the trying hard against a father, the training to get a root for the marriage. It's nothing too dramatic, but it's really cute in a sense, very nice. So I do enjoy the playthrough of this game so much. And I'm excited for the extra content next on the next video. Thank you for watching and I'll see you later. Bye bye!